Hi students, welcome to Leela's tutorial. Today let us discuss about ethical considerations of transgenic animals. In previous classes, we have observed how we are going to produce a transgenic animal by introducing the gene of interest so that it will be producing some beneficial characters for the mankind like increased milk production, increased wool production, right, meat, and it is not in terms of quantity but also in terms of quality. So all these conditions we are saying that human is exploiting the animal for the commercial purpose, right? So in ethical considerations we'll see what are the animal rights, what is the animal welfare and other things. So first, coming to the genetic manipulation, that means you are producing the transgenic animal by means of genetic manipulation or genetic engineering process, right? So during that process, why you are purposely doing this one? Only because in order to get the profit, right? So here it is commercial exploitation. You are not supposed to commercially exploit the animals, right? But you are doing genetic engineering in order to exploit the animal and gain the profit. And second one is the cruelty towards the animals. So in genetic manipulation process, even you are suffering the animal, you are causing pain to the animals. So these must be avoided according to the ethical concerns, right? So here in coming to the animal rights, each and every animal is having right to live as humans, right? So the first is the right to exist as entity. So each and every animal is having right to live as the wild type variety, or it can retain its identifiable entity. Okay, so here what must not be done according to these animal rights? What you are doing, you are exploiting for the research. That means you are sacrificing more number of animals or suffering more number of animals for research, right? That must not be done. Then next one is animal testing. So in case of animal testing, nearly 90% of animals are used for drug testing or the toxicity testing. Once you are producing any new product, a pharmaceutical or any clinical medicine, you are supposed to go for the preclinical trials. Preclinical trials are done on animals. So here that testing must be avoided, right? Then third one, it is changes in natural evolution. So when you are genetically manipulating the animal, that means you are changing its genome. That means indirectly you are changing or getting some changes in the natural evolution, which you are not supposed to do. Then next one is developmental abnormalities. So all these transgenic animals, what happens? They gradually develop certain abnormalities. It can be in terms of internal organs development, right? Like kidney, liver, these all will be poorly developed because of the transgenesis. Then next one is bioreactors for products. So here normally in previous days, what they used to do? They used to produce the products by using fermenters. So the fermenters where you are providing the raw material, and from that raw material fermentation you get the product. But now in animal biotechnology, the animal itself is used as a fermenter, which is referred as bioreactor. Animal itself is acting as a bioreactor for the production of the products such as protein in milk, right? Certain antibiotics in milk or certain vaccine production, right? So you are using directly the animal to obtain that product. Even you are getting gain from the animal. Where here you can see that nowhere the animal is getting benefited. Only the humans are getting benefited. And finally, last one is decreased lifespan. Due to this genetic engineering process, the transgenic animals have less lifespan. It may be due to the poor internal organ development, or it can be due to the poor functioning of the internal organs. So all these must not be done, right, based on the animal rights, because even they have right to live, right? Then after all these, making all these into considerations, Indian government has has an organization called GEAC, right? So here GEAC is Genetic Engineering Accepted or Accredited Center for GMOs, genetically modified organs, right? So here the GEAC is a validation committee. Otherwise, you can say that it will be giving permissions, right, based on the safety of the animals, right? So here safety of the animal means though you perform the research, you are not supposed to kill the animal, or you're not supposed to torture the animal or cause pain to the animal. So that means here the animal safety is given more importance rather than the research. Then in the second thing is validity of the research, right? What is the duration of your research? What is the worth of your research? You are not supposed to sacrifice the animal simply for the normal laboratory experiments, right? So even that it will be given acceptance by this GEAC organization. Then next one is no patenting. So nowadays the animals or any other cattle, what they are doing in case of dogs and all, they are producing new breeds, right? The new breeds or new traits are produced and they were patented. So Indian organization, what they said, no organism must be patented because even they are living organisms and also they have right to live. Though you are modifying the organisms must not be patented, right? So after this you have certain animal welfare. So here in all these things you are producing the transgenic animal but for the sake of human welfare, right? You are everywhere the human are getting benefited but not the animal. So GEAC has given certain considerations again keeping animal welfare in mind, right? So here it is the animal biotechnology. It must be good for animal selective breeding and genetic engineering. Though you go for the selective breeding or the genetic engineering or genetic manipulation, it must be beneficial to the animal, right? Not completely beneficial to the human. It must be beneficial to the animal. So what is the first beneficial character? It is you have to produce the transgenic animal such a way that it should have the improved disease resistance. The animal should attain resistance to various bacterial or the viral diseases, right? So that is a complete benefit to the animal and indirectly it is benefited to human also, right, in the livestock. Then next one is modify injury causing characteristics. Here injury causing characteristics means in case of cattle or any animals with the long horns, right? The horns may directly or indirectly they may cause injury among the animals, right? And also in case of birds you can see the sharp beaks. The beak may also cause injury to the animal or to the other animals. In that case also you can modify. You can modify or you can produce the cows without horns, or you can produce the birds with blunt beaks, right? Blunt end beaks. So like that you can modify the injury causing characteristics in animals. Then next one is the consideration of moral principles. That means you have to follow the moral values, right? Then the right behavior and also ethical codes, right? So these considerations, these three moral values, right behavior and ethical codes are not only for the researchers but also for the other participants. Is that clear? So here animal biotechnology must be beneficial not only to the human but it should have more beneficial characters to the animals so that complete the evolution or our ecosystem will be safe.